What's up YouTube, it's your boy Barcode. I'm back with another video. I've been playing with the Poseidon legendary skill stone for a while now, and now that Alicia's out, those two together are awesome. But there's a lot of other combos that make legendary skill stone of Poseidon really good. I'm going to talk about those today, and his legendary skill stone should not be underestimated. If you like the content, you know what to do. Hit that sub button, hit the like button, hit that bell dingy dingy thing so you know when I post a video. Let's get to it. First, I'm going to talk about a lot of different combos, and I'll showcase some that I know I have on replay at least. Poseidon's legendary skill stone is just amazing. It increases the effect duration if the target is under inability effects when using his skill. This increases any stun, sleep, or freeze for 5 extra seconds. If the target is under sleep or freeze or stun, but it doesn't really matter, it's sleep and freeze, it does not affect it and does not break it. This is huge for a lot of different combos. But this is the current team comp I run right now. Alicia's only level 9, but it doesn't really matter. And I run this team because most of them are my higher level cards, and some of the other combos I don't have high levels of. So right here, this is what I'm running. Really, you can see all the heroes, monsters on the screen, but the spells, Transfer, Chill Tornado, and Flame Strike are very important. Let's talk about Flame Strike real quick. Flame Strike will stun the back line of the enemy for 5 seconds. If you use this to counter an enemy in the back line attacking, and then you use Poseidon right after, that's 10 seconds of stun. If you put Violent on Poseidon like I do, and you proc Violent and do it again, that's 15 seconds. They're gonna need to cleanse it or they're just pretty much stuck. Let's talk about Alicia real quick. Alicia removes all the beneficial effects from the enemy and your own team, but then applies the Ice Bomb on the enemy. If Ice Bomb is not cleansed and it goes off, it'll freeze that target. This hits all enemies, so the more Ice Bombs you get, the better. Because when it goes off and they don't cleanse that, and then you use Poseidon again to refreeze, it's tons of utility for 7 mana cost between the two of them. Good thing to know about freeze, if there's dots on the enemy, like a Perna Flame Tick or Beretta's dots, this does not break freeze. So you can literally throw up a Perna and a Beretta or whatever the case may be, then use Alicia, remove all their buffs, get the Ice Bomb on them, freeze them. The damage over time ticks, the freeze does not get broken, then you go with Poseidon again, refreeze, and the ticks are still there, ticking and ticking and ticking away. Some other great combos to use is what I use right now is with Wadam. When there's a deceleration and he goes, it stuns, has a chance. Anyway, you need accuracy, but it does stun the enemy sometimes when they have deceleration on, unless they resist. Now you need slow up first, so that's why I bring Ganymede into my comp as well. I use Ganymede, burn all their cards. They use a skill, I then counter with Wadam to stun the back line. So they already have deceleration up, they have a stun now. And then I use Poseidon to extend his stun. This also extends the deceleration on the enemy. I also have Violent on Ganymede as well. So if I Ganymede up again, then I also burn the cards one more time. Or if Poseidon procs Violent, then I re-stun again. It's so fun. I love this legendary skill stone so much. Another great combo is Kun into Poseidon. Usually the front line is a lot of support, so you stun that front line, whether it's the Cleanser or it's Bella or whatever the case may be. It could be Wusa. You freeze them, and then you extend the freeze with Poseidon. Great crowd control. And then you follow that up with a front damage dealer to what's an automatic crit. Another great combo is Finn. If he gets the crit on the last attack, he freezes. The freeze has a pretty good time limit on his. After you freeze, then you use Mushu, which Mushu, if you kill the enemy, it'll extend the debuffs to the whole team, unless you have the legendary skill, which will do it automatically without a kill. And then you follow that up with Poseidon for an AoE freeze to extend. I already talked about Ganymede once, but Ganymede, if you use him first to get the slow on the whole enemy team, and then you use Chill Tornado to freeze all the enemies on the counter, and then counter that up with Poseidon. So much crowd control. If you have a high level Thrain, you can run a Beretta Thrain Poseidon comp. You throw out the dots with Beretta, then when they use a skill, you counter with Thrain and stun whoever you hit, and then follow that up with Poseidon. Extend those stuns. Other great combos that I don't currently use is obviously Hathor with Poseidon. Hathor will sleep that whole back line and apply deceleration. Then you can either run like Hwadam and hit them to stun and then use Poseidon, or you can just go straight into Poseidon and extend the sleep. If you have the skill stone for Hathor, like you don't have the other ones, but you have the green one to increase the sleep duration, even more crowd control. I could even see this good with Nikki now that she got a buff and her mana cost is lowered. If you have like the purple stone for her to decrease the mana cost of Teddy by 1, that's a 3 mana cost. Attacks the back line. They either have to let that damage go off or they cleanse it and get the stun, then you counter up with Poseidon. 2 other combos that are great that I can't produce because I don't have the skill stone, but one is Tessarion. Tessarion's purple stone has a chance to stun, AoE attack, hopefully stun, at least 4 out of the 8. Then you follow up Poseidon. Or you can do like the frontline comp and use Prelee. If you have that purple stone, have a chance to stun them. Follow up with Poseidon. I say follow up with Poseidon because that's what you do with Poseidon's skill stone. You follow up, but you extend those stuns. It's awesome. I'll show you a couple different matches to showcase some of these things that I have already. So let's get into these matches. Here's one example with Flame Strike. He used his skill in the back line and I saw that, so I'm going to use Flame Strike right here. Stun the back line. Great, great, great. And then I use Poseidon to extend that stun. You see how it's low already, and now it's an extra 5 seconds on that stun. So huge. It's such a great skill stone. I love it. This example will showcase dots and freeze and how powerful it can be. I don't have any dots on my team, but if you wanted to run a dot comp, then you could. I do have the legendary Perna stone though. I should maybe. My Perna is very low level. But in this case, their Perna is going to apply dots on my team. I then transfer and you'll be able to see the dots ticking while they're frozen. So here you go. Here's the Perna. It's going to apply dots. So from here, Perna applies the ticks on me. I go ahead and transfer over those ticks right when right before the bomb goes off so I don't break the bomb freeze. He applies spoil, whatever, but then I go ahead and use Poseidon. As you can see, the ticks are going off as well with the freeze. You'll see that here in just a second. Right now, bink, and it's still frozen, so very, very strong combo. And whenever you follow up an attack on a freeze, it's an auto crit, so even better. And as you see here, some of the enemies in the back line have a deceleration. So I'm going to showcase the typical Hwadam stun, which you can combo at any specific point in the match, but it's even better when there's a freeze in the back line. Poseidon extends the freeze, and then Hwadam uses his skill to automatically crit and then re-stun. But as you see here, there's a slow on the back line. I counter and stun their opponent, and the Rakan couldn't do anything. Here's another example of the Ganymede Chill Tornado comp. Go ahead and use Ganymede to get that slow off, get that card burn. It's so good. I got him on Violent, right? So I get the card back again, which is just huge, right? He applies immunity, he's got a heal, whatever. It doesn't really matter. I get Chill Tornado in my hand, so I see that. So I go ahead and use Ganymede first before Poseidon. And then I'm going to go ahead and watch what they do so I can use Chill Tornado, freeze them all, and then I apply Poseidon to extend that buff. And it's so nice to see. He just quit after that, rage quit. This will be a full match to showcase my ranked comp. As you know, my Alicia's only level 9, and the team I'm facing is really hard to counter with my type of team that uses crowd control mainly. They have a Wusa, they have a McKean, they also have a Bella, and most of my damage is slow throughout crowd control, except for Hwadam. He can do some burst damage. But I'll show you how I play this out. I'm trying to bait the Wusa, I'm trying to bait the McKean, but it's hard because they also have the Bella to follow up with that. But let's go ahead and start the match. And as you can see, I'm just kind of waiting to see what they use here. He uses Wusa first, so I want to get the heal block in case he follows up with Bella, right? So after that, I need to get the immunity off and the shield so I can do some damage. Alicia's damage is actually pretty good when you level her up and you get the purple stone. It's nice. She's going to use McKean, of course, so I'm just going to card burn just to do some more damage and limit what cards they can use. He uses Bernard. I go ahead and use Hray to get some damage off to that front line. so McKean can't transfer as much. He goes ahead and uses Wusa again to get the shield and immunity, so that means I need to just watch what they do, sustain, wait for that immunity to fall off in the shield, because I don't have Alicia right now, right? Kills my Coon, I get the attack buff, which is fine. All I can wait and see what they do. I use Wadam just to get that shield down low, maybe get a little bit of health down low, which is what I do. He freezes my Diaz. They use Bella, and I use Ganymede to card burn, so they can at least limit to what they use, right? I get the heal block off, but he gets divine protection off, so it doesn't really work for me. So they get a little sustain there. So now I'm just going to see what they use here. I'm going to use Alicia, so it baits them to use either McKean or Wusa right after. He goes ahead and uses McKean to cleanse the freeze bombs and gets immunity again. Double immunity teams with Bella is very strong sustain. I use Hray just to get that damage off to the front line. He's on Vamp, so it keeps him up and nice and running. I use Chill Tornado here just to get the slow off because I see Wadam. I don't have Ganny yet or whatever, so I can't use the freeze combo. I use Card Burn so that he gets rid of his Wusa or McKean. It didn't get rid of the Wusa, but at least slows them down. I go ahead and stun that back line with the Wadam, get some nice damage there too, which is nice. I'm going to use Card Burn here, so we can't use the Wusa or the McKean. I don't know what he had, but obviously we saw he had Wusa. He used Bernard to actually counter the Ganymede, which is a nice counter. He uses Wusa. I use Hray to knock down that team. Kills their whole team except for Wusa, which is nice. So then he goes ahead and tries to use Bella for the heal. I wait to use Alicia till after the buff applies. Strips the buffs, gets the freeze bombs up. Now what's funny here is he uses the Kali to kill my Hray, which is nice. Uses damage conversion. The freeze goes off. I use Poseidon just to extend the freeze. I know he's going to heal from the damage, but it's not too much damage, right? It's Poseidon, right? He used spread damage, but I did have a transfer, so I transfer it back. So my backline is safe. I wait to see what he uses. I have Flame Strike, so I know he's going to use Bella or something. So I go ahead and stun, and then I use Poseidon again to extend the stun, and then I use Poseidon again to extend the stun because he used all his spells. There's nothing he can do, and he's just stunned for the rest of the match. I love Poseidon. It's GG. That's it for today's video. I mentioned a lot of things about the skill stone, but one important thing about the skill stone is if the other team has immunity up and I have a freeze or stun up before they apply immunity, I can still use Poseidon and I can still extend the debuff of stun or freeze or sleep or whatever through immunity. But that right there, hopefully it's intended, but it's huge. If you like the content, you know what to do. Sub, like, ding the bell. See you in the next one. Peace.